Mm. Gosh, it is Wednesday, so it must mean we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Looks like we're working. Yes, looks like we're working. Cool. Awesome. Yay. Well, today I wanted to talk about how our network has helped us today. So
Yeah.
specific ways, right? People always say, "Oh, well, networking's important, and you meet people, and this is important, and that," but they don't say how your network has actually helped in very specific ways. So I wanted to kind of talk about that today. And oh man, my eyes. I
Well, I
tried a
have a
new cream
story.
last night. I tried a new cream last night. I think some of it got in my eyes last night because my eyes
Hmm.
are like they're kind of burning. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's hear it. Let's hear your story, your networking story.
Okay, I want to start. I want to start before the story. That well, let me start with the story. So I was. This was when I was a very young software engineer. I think this was. I was interviewing for my second job as a computer programmer,
Okay.
and I had a good interview with the team, and I really liked the team, and so when they called me back, I think for a second interview, no, this was the first. Uh, I said, "Would you like some references?" And the man interviewing me said, "No, we've already checked your references." And I thought, well, that's interesting because he didn't even have them.
Right. Right.
But what had happened was he was friends with a guy that I worked with at a previous company. And
Mm.
so he asked that friend. So Austin was a very small town then, and everybody knew everybody.
Uh,
And he had checked on me before he even brought me into interview. That
okay.
taught me a couple things, but one was never burn your bridges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the other was, it's really important to have a good network. So
Right.
I'd like to frame this in a particular way. People, many of my engineering friends that I know are reluctant to. They're reluctant to go out and network. They consider it something like going to a cattle auction,
Ah.
and
Yes.
they're the cattle.
Right. Right.
They,
Right. Right.
they want to be the cattle. Um, and they consider it unseemly.
Uh huh.
And so, for those of you who are reluctant to go out networking, maybe you'd rather be writing code or staying home, and that's understandable. Uh, let's put it this way: you want to have a good uh, career. You want to have a good career. You want your career to go seamlessly,
Uh huh.
and you're happy right now with your job. You're plugging away. You like your colleagues. You like your boss, and everything's going fine. Well, okay, but here's the problem. Things might not go fine at some point in the future.
Mm.
Things
Mm.
turn, things change. And when that happens, you are going to need to rely on uh, your network for referrals and to help you get your next job. If you haven't built a network,
Yeah.
you have a very small cadre of
That's right.
acquaintances who can help you get your next job. So what's the solution? The solution is to build your network, and here's how. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
And having a wide range of people in your network is important, right? We
Yeah.
uh we were talking about how, while we know Redmond, all you have to do is say Redmond, right? And everybody goes, "Oh yeah, we know where that is. That's okay. There's going to be a lot of techies up there, maybe some startups. There's going to be investor money, right? If somebody says Redmond, but if I'm out in the wild and I'm talking to people and I'm saying, "Hey, we're going up to Redmond next week. We've got some meetings, whatever." Just regular lay people are just going to be like, what's Redmond? Where's, oh, is that somewhere? Oh, isn't that up in like California? What is the thing? A lot of people, they don't, no, actually it's not, but people don't think about the niche or the echo chamber that they might have put all of their eggs into all of their networking eggs into one basket. And the
Mhm.
general public doesn't really know. They don't, it's not important to them. So you have to get a wide range of people in your network from all different areas, from different industries, from different parts of the world, because you can gain a lot more data and you'll have a more informed choice when you're making a choice or you're making a decision, because you have more data from different data points. I was just in I was mentoring. I'm not these days. I just have a couple mentees here and there that pop in, but I was doing regular mentoring for a long time. And it was interesting to try to encourage people from different industries that to go network. People from marketing industries, people who are very community based, they have no problem going out and expanding their network, extending their network to certain groups. They're joining the Asian Students Association, they're joining the marketing association group, they're joining the club that's some kind of club sport. They're just all over the place. And then there were other people who maybe they have, it's based on their culture, maybe based on their gender, maybe based on their childhood, maybe based on their childhood trauma, right? They don't want to go out and network, they don't want to extend themselves. The thing about it though is you can get a wide range of people in your network, and then you get a wide range of supporters. So,
Yeah.
for example, we were just doing an event where we are doing a gala for the Avery Burton Foundation. It's on the Las Vegas Strip at Resorts World Las Vegas this summer. It's really, really amazing. And we were going down our list of people and potential sponsors and potential partners. And just between the three of us, we came up with a list of like 75 different companies and people, and everybody knew somebody at some place, and who's going to be appropriate for a partnership, for media partnership, for sponsorship, who's going to be willing to maybe sponsor a table of students for so we could get the university students to the event. And it really kind of drove home the point of having a wide range of people that you can choose from. Here we go. We're posting an event on the Las Vegas Strip, and we're going to need a lot of partners, a lot of sponsors, a lot of active, engagey people. And between the three of us, we came up with a pretty substantial list, an influential list. So having that network and staying in touch with people. I know I've been in Las Vegas for I think this is my 15th or 16th year. And so staying in touch with people that whole time has been quite beneficial, because a lot of the people who I came into, I worked on a project with the Las Vegas Urban League. Gosh, 12 years ago, maybe. Well, who would have guessed 12, 13 years ago that those people now would be decision makers and leaders and in positions of power, or have started their own companies or organizations or nonprofits that will make great partners for this event.
Mhm.
That's a perfect example of why it's important to have a strong network, because later, not just for jobs, but what if you're hosting an event and you need partnership, and you're bringing a community event to the community? It's helpful to have people who could potentially sponsor that event.
And you brought up how helpful that is, but you also brought up mentoring. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a mentee who lives in London
Mm-hmm.
and is thinking of moving back to the States.
Ah,
And she's, networked with me, but I'm networked with thousands of people. And so, by virtue of the transitive
yes,
property of
transitive power.
networking,
Yes, you bet.
she now has thousands of potential people in her network. So I first introduced her to some people who could talk to her about some of the things she was interested in that I worked with in 2007. So okay, that's a pretty long time ago. But later, I introduced her to someone I worked with in the late 80s and early 90s. And everybody gave her great help.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't know where your help is going to come from
That's true.
until you reach out. So
That's true.
I
Yeah,
did.
I've
I wasn't
definitely done that
asking,
before.
yeah, I wasn't asking these people to give her a job,
Right.
but I was asking these people in my network from way back to help her understand the implications of certain roles.
Right.
Would this be a good role for her? Would she get to do X or Y or Z, or would
Uh-huh.
she be confined to doing, you know, P, Q, and R?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was good to be able to reach out to my network and get friends to give her some advice that I did not know. I did not know the answers to some of her questions, but
Sure.
my friends did.
Right.
And
Well, that's the thing for me too, because I'm not technical, right? I'm not technical. And so working at a software company and working in tech, I tell people they should have at least one technical mentor and then at least, one leadership mentor, so
mhm,
that you're getting different viewpoints and you have assistance and help in different parts. The other times that it's been helpful for me to have a wide range of people that I network with, and different people, has been when I needed volunteers for our
mm,
nonprofit events, right? I
mhm,
would talk to so and so over at whatever company, and I know that they're, let's just say it's the energy company, and I know they have a program so that every month they, or every quarter, they try to get their employees to be out in the community to donate their time. So I would contact them and go, hey, how's it going? We have an event. Can you send me 5 to 10 volunteers from your company, and it'll help you fulfill your community goals for volunteering, and then it helps us as well. So that's been another specific example where having a wide range of helpers and a wide range of people that you can draw from um, has brought volunteers to nonprofit organizations. um,
so let's talk about how people can network. Now, in earlier years, much earlier years,
yes.
networking was always in person
Mm-hmm.
and always at events.
Yes.
So, an event might be just a little meetup, or the event might be a big community high tech happy hour or
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant getting up and going and physically
Right.
being present. But now networking also includes doing things online and doing things virtually and doing things over Zoom. So, in the
Yes.
case of my mentee, networking for her included meeting people that were in my sphere of influence who she in London could meet, and they're all scattered all over the United States.
Uh-huh.
So networking now can be virtual, and I have to add, it's much harder to really get to build a network virtually because
Yes.
you're not present physically. You're
Uh-huh.
not getting to know somebody over a cup of coffee at the beginning of an event.
Mm-hmm.
So Christina, what would you advise people to do to network virtually?
I use a little bit of a different strategy. You know, when I meet somebody, I will recommend or suggest or offer, hey, let's jump on a 20-minute Zoom call. If there's a phone call, if there's an email and we haven't quite met yet and they're new, I'll say, let's jump on a quick 20-minute phone call. And then if that phone call, that Zoom call goes well, then I say, hey, let's meet up in person.
Yeah,
A lot of times that's not possible. You know, if I'm traveling in the area, I've done that before where I'll say, hey, I'm going to come to your organization's next meetup because I'm going to be in London. I'm going to be, you know, somewhere. I'll do that. But also, I have encouraged people to go into LinkedIn groups to
yeah,
network. And so you can go into LinkedIn groups and don't go into the groups where you'd expect to be found. So let me give you an example of this. Realtors, I've had realtor clients before who are really active, right? They're all about the shotgun approach to marketing, right? They they take um, the approach that they just want to, it's a numbers, right? It's quantity. So they'll just go out and they'll just, hey, how are you, how are you, have you, just reminding you, I sell real estate, hey, how's it going? Just all the time, and it's not as personal. What they also were doing, I've had a couple of real estate clients, two, three, who wanted me to do marketing and helping them with marketing. They'd go jump into LinkedIn into other realtor groups. Well, how many realtors do you think you're going to sell a house to in another realtor group of a people who sell? So it's important to think about where you might not be expected to be found. So they found great success in jumping into LinkedIn groups for new home buyers, people who just recently moved to Las Vegas, people who just recently got married, people who just recently got divorced, right? So, looking at the different markets for where they wanted to sell homes, it would actually be more advantageous for them to join that new homeowners LinkedIn group and watch the conversation for a couple days and then pop in and like a few things here and there and then make a few comments here and there and then watch and see, oh, hey, this person is asking other people about homes. Guess what? I'm a realtor. I could help you. And they make a much better connection that way than just popping in and going, hi, how are you? I'm a realtor. Hey, buy my stuff. Hey, here's a new thing. I'm a realtor. It's less personal than somebody who's connecting over shared experiences and shared information and knowledge. So going into network in that way, even if you're an introvert, you know, spend a half an hour on LinkedIn in those groups 3 times a day. That's an hour and a half. It's a good way to make sales, to connect with people who are different. I mean, we even did, I talk about this a lot, the experience of going to a fancy hat party. So one of my friends, we every now and then we just like to do random things because Las Vegas has a lot of random fun things, right? So there was a meetup, or maybe there was an Eventbrite. I don't remember what it was, but somebody on the other side of the city was having hosting a high tea in their home, and it was a fundraiser for a shelter or something like that, right? And everybody's wearing a fancy hat. That was the important part. So she and I show up at this fancy hat party. We didn't know anybody, you know, we don't even like dogs or have dogs ourselves, but here we are at a fundraiser for a dog shelter, and we had a lot of fun and we met some great people, and I walked out of there with two clients because they weren't expecting to be sold websites on a Saturday afternoon at a high tea party, where we're just kind of hanging out, you know. And so that was really fun to network and talk to people and go, oh, what do you do? Oh, well, I build websites. And um, that was a really fun way to get clients. It's a really fun way to get
What a
clients.
great story. And it reminds, I have about 100 fancy hats
Mm.
from the 40s and 50s. Beautiful, beautiful original hats that were
Fantastic.
they're very fancy. And I have had high tea at my house.
Oh,
So
I love it.
I need to get that going again just
Yes,
for the fun of it. It is
that's right.
so fun.
Yeah.
And at my high tea hat parties,
Uh-huh.
everybody tries on all my hats,
Oh, that's so
gets
fun.
pictures taken because they feel so special. I mean,
Yeah,
it's interesting to see how you change your personality with a different look.
that's right.
Anyway,
That's
that's
right.
off point. But the the point is, I love high tea happy
I
hours.
love high tea. I love high tea. It's so fun. It's so fun. In fact, they have a high tea happening. Oh, I don't know. Is it Easter weekend or something at the
Mm,
Legacy Club downtown? I was thinking about going because they have a high tea party. I was like, yay, high
they're
tea
fun.
happy hour.
I love making the scones. So
Oh, scones. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
fun. All
they,
the little tea
my
cakes
opinion
and the
is they
pretty.
only have a half-hour half-life,
Oh,
and
right.
so I have to make them just in time for the party.
Excellent. Oh, I love that. Scones. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that another way that my network has helped me is through mentorship. And we talked about
Hmm.
that earlier about how getting a wide range of input um, has really helped me. You know, I had a mentor who taught me that wherever, I was just starting my consultancy for marketing, for Lucky Girl Designs here in Las Vegas. I'd already been kind of freelancing, but I went official, right? And so he
Hmm.
taught me that your business will follow you wherever you go. Your business will follow you wherever you go. So I was working for him in his office, and I'd be there, and they'd always be out, out, out. I'm like, when are you getting any work done? He's like, but I am getting the work done. I'm in sales. That's my job. And I was like, wait, what? And he said, your business is going to follow wherever you go. So wherever I go, I make sure I pause. I'm present in that moment. I always go to the same coffee place. I get the same coffee and I talk to the baristas and they get to know me. I know the people who are sitting who come in. I see their regulars. I drop off my card. I get the same thing. Same thing at school. He would drop off his kids. He's like, I love bringing my kids to school. I'm like, oh man, isn't it so crazy in the morning and this and that? He's like, I love bringing my kids to school. I'm always the first one there. I like to hang out, see who else is dropping off their kids, wave, hi. And do you know, I'd sit in that office and sure enough, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know them from my son's school. Oh yeah, we got a new client. They're from the coffee shop. Oh yeah, we have a new client. They're from the gas station over at the." And it was because his business followed him wherever he went, and that was really good information for me. Once I kind of realized that, I started dropping off business cards and being a little more present. I started getting clients who were in my yoga studio classes. I started getting clients who were over at the nonprofit where I volunteered at the garden. I started getting clients. Once I kind of wrapped my head around how that worked with the networking process, it was really helpful because you can network just around shared values and shared experiences. And those shared values and those shared experiences, they'll help people connect with you more.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
a great idea. And there are often things that people have where opportunities that they have to network that they're already doing, but they hadn't thought of the
Right,
idea of networking. For
right.
example, uh, networking at your child's soccer games with the other parents because you're
Mm-hmm.
there with them for an hour on the weekends and
That's
maybe
right.
an hour during practice. same people every
Right.
time, and you never know which one of them might be a good referral for
That's
you or
right.
might even be a good client for you. So there's that, and I think the opportunity to build your network through the activities that you normally engage in, no
Mm-hmm.
matter if it's going to the coffee shop, going to the gas station,
Yeah.
going to your kids' school, going to your kids' soccer game.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
it's
hard sometimes. Like I get it. I'm not feeling it sometimes. I don't want to get out of myself and my own little bubble. But if you're intentional about it, it's easier because I
yeah,
know, all right, I'm going to go walk out of this soccer game with two other phone numbers from other parents. Like that's my goal. I'm going to do it. Um, Maybe it is, okay, this is too hard for me because I know that I stumble or I don't know what to say. That's where, like, we do role playing, right? So when
hmm
we do our workshop every second Friday, we do role playing with conversations. So it's easier to kind of get over those initial discomfort moments,
yeah,
and we can kind of
yeah,
sit in the discomfort and learn to be a little more comfortable in the discomfort, as my yoga teacher used to say. um, and that practice creates the neural pathways, then they're there, and then when you really need to call upon them, not just in practice, the neural pathways are already there, and it's a lot easier because you've gone through the behaviors already, you've gone through the motions, so networking is easier that way.
and I like that just over your right shoulder is the word practice
Oh
on
yeah.
your picture.
Exactly.
Practice,
Exactly.
practice networking in places that are comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of going with being intentional about it and going with a plan. I'm going to
Yes,
get the emails and names of two people.
that's right.
That's a great
That's
plan.
right. Excellent. Well, cool. Do you have anything to add about how networking has specifically helped you in your life, or ways that people can network better, or different ways of networking?
My business is almost entirely based on person to person referrals,
Yeah. Hmm.
and that's all networking. What that saves me is having a salesperson and having
Ooh, good
all
point.
kinds of expensive processes going on that involve spending money to do this and that. But when I have a business based on personal networking and my friends knowing what I do and knowing how I can help others,
Yes.
that's the value of networking to me. It's how I do my business.
Yeah.
So uh,
Love
yeah,
that.
networking is very valuable to me. Um, so
Excellent.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And even like I said, there are ways to do it online, and there are ways to do it even if you need to recharge. I'm a very outgoing introvert, which is funny. We talk about how uh, my J is an extrovert, but not as outgoing. So it's really funny. So I don't mind going out and just doing the networking, but then I need to come back and I need to recharge and build up
Yeah,
my energy again. Whereas for him, he recharges by connecting with other people. He gets more
yeah,
energized the more people that he connects with. So if you understand that about yourself, then you know how to network best. Right.
yep, yeah.
So
And
awesome.
so many of my acquaintances who are in the software or hardware industry are introverts,
Mm-hmm.
and it is difficult for them. But once they understand that it is so valuable
Yes,
uh, for them in the long term,
that's right.
hope I hope they'll take that first step. And I think it's really easy to do the LinkedIn version.
Yeah,
You don't have to even step out of your comfortable zone. You
right.
can just comment and make new friends.
That's right.
Uh, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, cool. I guess I will see you next Wednesday live
Next
here,
Wednesday. Yeah.
9 o'clock Central, 7 a.m. Pacific, and we'll see what the topic will be next week. I don't know. I'm
If
not sure
anybody
yet.
has any questions
Yeah,
about their careers and
networking. Yeah,
networking or
you can
something
reach out
else,
to us. We're
reach out.
luckyandleslie.com, and then of course we're on LinkedIn and Facebook. We're on YouTube. Where
Yeah.
else are we? I guess that's about it.
Send
That's
us a
enough
message.
places.
Happy to answer your questions.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Leslie.
Adios.
See ya. That was great. That was good. I
Yeah.
was like blurry from my eye. I tried this new cream last night.